Can you
see that?
Can you see this,
Can you
like?
go on the live?
Have I got a filter on our head? Are we angels?
If anyone is watching this,
Are we angels? Tell us if we're angels or not. You are. Am I on? Yes. All right.
Our media game is getting so much better.
There you go. How do I turn this off?
No, we don't. We're stuck with it now.
How do I turn it off?
No, it's forever us. Ooh,
how do I turn the...
Nah, we're going to roll with it.
Angel.
Welcome.
So not angels.
Right, it looks like we're rolling with it because I thought I'd be able to... I have no idea how to turn it off.
Thank you, Megs.
Okay, here we go. This seems to be... Yeah, right.
This is us now.
This is it. All right, so welcome to another edition of Coffee with Your Coaches. This is embarrassing. All right, so firstly, there's loads to talk about. Okay, so last week's podcast is going off currently. Okay, the downloads are probably at an all-time. So again, it was about the menstrual cycle. I keep saying female menstrual cycle, like there's a man, one. Okay, it's about the menstrual cycle, the phases through the menstrual cycle, how it can affect dieting and it can affect your training. So if you haven't listened, go and listen to it, male, female, whatever you're doing. It is well worth taking an hour out of your day or over a few days to go and listen to it.
And it's not just us talking about it. We actually had on a very good friend of ours, Sarah Boyer, who is a lady. And so I think getting her on to speak about it adds that little bit more credibility to... Yeah.
Do you know what I liked about it the most? And when I was talking through it and talking through the science and literature about it, which I feel highly confident in, and then she's like, yeah, but you still don't understand the emotion. And I was like, bitch. I was like, yeah, I was like, it's so true though. It is, yeah, so true. So it was really good to have her on. Your basic bitch.
Yeah, so I did a post Monday or Tuesday. Just post so much. Just around like the basics when it comes to training or nutrition. Like everyone, if I got told starting off in the fitness industry that I'd end up doing the same basic exercises throughout my entire life.
I can turn it off. There you go. I can turn it off. We're in.
Back on. Yeah, if I got told I'd be able to do the same basic exercise for like the rest of my life, it's not a very exciting thing. But the good thing is the basics work.
I don't know what I've done.
And we don't need to always try and reach for something that's new and fancy. You can get unreal progress by sticking to the basics, whether that is through training, nutrition, sleep. Like we try to overcook things so much, but yeah, the basics are the basics for a reason. It's because they work.
But why don't people want the basics?
Because it's not sexy. It's not sexy. People don't want to do the work. And Ross Edgley often says that while there can be many different... I'm going to butcher this quote. But while there can be many answers to different questions, sometimes the answer is just hard work. Like people are always trying to find like, oh, if we do like this variation of a squat, we get like this more muscle activation. It's like, well, just squat.
Yeah. And the good coaches when they're out there, because they are putting the basics out there, they're just putting them across very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, basics. Talking about basics, hydration. One of the most basic rights that we should have is the fact that we should be hydrated at all the time. Something that is massively underestimated is the effect of what dehydration can cause. So again, old literature used to say that 2% dehydration would affect performance by about 20%. And by the time you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated, which is crazy, right? Just remember, when you are sweating, if you are training, when you are sweating, you don't sweat out water. You sweat out electrolytes, so you need to replenish with electrolytes. You can get it through food, but again, I think you're just making things hard for yourself if you're not having things like avocados or bananas constantly, Why are you trying to be healthy in the first place, Sean? Why are you trying to be healthy, mate?
Why? Because I value being a happy, healthy person. And I think people often, especially coming in or being involved in the fitness industry for such a long time, I see so many people starting out and coming into the industry from like a negative place. They're coming here and we speak about it a lot, to sort of punish themselves, to try and lose fat. Never coming from a place of empowerment. And I think when you start out on any journey, you really need to like identify like why.
Yeah.
Like why you're doing something, because you're going to have like bad weeks or challenging weeks where things don't go your way. And it's having that solid why behind what you do that's going to allow you to, continue to take action when you're not feeling as motivated or when you're having those challenging weeks. So for me, like one of the biggest things around like my training at the moment is not like, I've transitioned away from competitive sport, but I still train 4 or 5 times a week. And that's purely because I value my health, but I want to be able to, play with my son whenever he wants. And I want to be able to dominate him at every sport we play and every game we play for his whole life.
Yeah, I think, like when you go against your kid, I think I'm the same. I'm just going to destroy Alfie and everything until one day he like does a tackle on me or something.
Yeah, he
and then like
earns it.
I have like a look at it. Like he's ready, like Mr. Miyagi style stuff.
And you go into your corner and die.
Yeah, that's it. Of embarrassment there.
Kev _boss. We know it was you who hacked the Spotify playlist. Chris Campbell dubbed you in.
Did it? Is that who it was? Putting whale noises on there. All right. So the anti-challenge is running, and it's running well. So this part of the podcast this week will be about the challenge, will be about habits, will be about values, but we're also gonna give people give people the chance to sort of join in. Okay, so we'll be sending out your worksheets and your lectures and everything as well. So listen to the podcast, and then if you want to get involved, you just let us know and we'll shoot you all the information. But what things have you noticed so far with people, with yourself or with people trying to improve their habits?
Yeah. Again, the whole challenge is around helping people identify little habits and actions they can take within their own lives that align with their overall value of health. Which is very important for the people within our gym, because obviously they're invested in this our actual facility, both physically, emotionally, mentally. So we want to make sure that other areas outside of our control are being dealt with a little bit better than what they may have been in the past. So in helping people sort of go about building better habits around sleep, stress management, having fun, overall like gratitude for life, people tend to make things way too hard than what they need to be. Big one, yeah. They think like every habit that we're trying to do is meant to be very simple, very achievable, so people are just ticking win after win after win. Because you can't build on a habit if there's no habit there to improve on. So we've been finding people like have been trying to choose habits that are too difficult, or try to make change that is too difficult, and then they're not able to achieve it. And there's no way, like in doing that, you're never going to build a habit. All you're doing is like, essentially losing what you set out to do, and that's not very motivating. There's no benefit to that.
I think people are making too, and even though when they're writing the habits on paper, they sound really easy, but they're still too difficult. Do you know what I mean? They're still too hard. Like we have people, a common one is I want to read 10 pages a night. It's like, just do a page, because 10 pages a night becomes quite difficult. What about if you're tired or things come up or some things happen on the weekend? But as long as you read that page, then you can tick that sheet and you're starting to create that habit. And then people are just putting down what they want to. They're not thinking deeply enough about it. Like if you drink every night in the week and then you just go, I'm not going to drink in the week, it's probably not going to happen too well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to drink one night of the week. That's a beneficial, or I'm just going to have a beer one. You know what I mean? Like just building your habits to be super simple.
And I think people are just finally realizing like how ingrained certain habits are. Like coming home and relaxing and having a beer with dinner, they're like, they feel a void there if they don't have it there. So again, it's trying to create those, or give people guidance around different options for that, or creating better habits to help them deal with stress. I know Sean's a big fan of this, but one of the things that I'm trying to do is like 5 minutes of doing nothing, to the point that like nothing, right? Where I just lie there and don't concentrate on my breath, don't concentrate on anything, just breathe. No, just nothing, to the point where like, say even if I've got a fart, right, I won't even, and I need to push it out, I won't push it out because that requires effort. But if it falls out, then I'll let it go. That's how little I'm trying to do. Does that make sense? But it's amazing how long 5 minutes is when you're not distracted. Yeah.
It's amazing how long 5 minutes lasts when you're not distracted. I'm lying there going, what is going on? This has to be done. But it just shows how distracted we are at all times by everything. And another thing I've come across is like, have my phone away at home for an hour a day at least, which is actually turned into more. It's actually turned into a couple of hours. Like, and my kids are young, and you're probably the same. And like, Alfie will run up to me wanting to play, and I'll like be on my phone. And I'm like, oh, I'll be with you in a minute. But there's going to be one day where he's not going to be that excited to play with me anymore.
Yeah.
Which like hit me hard the other day. I was like, what am I doing? And it's so subconscious. So when my phone's upstairs, I'm constantly like this. I'm looking for it all the time. Like, I think just how distracted we are, and then it comes into mindful eating. How distracted we are is
a good little challenge to see how like sort of addicted you are to your phone, or how much you think like, you know, checking your phone is a habit. If you have Facebook or Instagram, I'm sure you all do if you're watching this, wherever your app is located on your phone, whether it's on your second page or your main page, move it over a page or change a position, and you'll just see how what a subconscious habit opening your phone and going to that same spot is each time. If you like checking Instagram, checking Facebook. Like, I deleted the Facebook app from my phone a month or so ago now. But say when I check Instagram now, for the first couple of weeks, I still had the habit of exiting out of Instagram and then swiping across to where my Facebook app used to be. It's just like some of these things are so ingrained in us that, you know, it takes that little bit of effort to make us become aware of our current habits, because once we become aware of something, then we don't become unaware of it, and once we're aware of it, we can make improvements around it.
all right. Questions. We had a couple. Put it up a bit late. Are we competing in the Open?
God, no.
No. I'm not going to compete. People say, you know, and I thought about this for ages. Like, in terms of the CrossFit Open is what we're talking about. It like, I've done it for years. I've earned my stripes in it. I've competed everywhere within it. And right now it's my time to be a coach, and it's not time to be an athlete. So the evening is built for, you know, the members, and it's built for me trying to coach them through it and to make sort of the spectacle is what it is. But, you know, people will talk about leading by example, but I think that can be done everywhere. It's not about just competing at one night.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as James. There is no way in hell I'm doing the Open. It doesn't interest me in doing it as a competitor anymore.
I think because we were so highly competitive at one point.
Yeah, well, I just don't need to do it.
Enjoyment about it.
I will get no enjoyment from it, no value out of it.
You don't train for it.
I don't train for it, and I'm there to coach and be a coach. And I guarantee, just because you're a decent athlete doesn't mean you're a good coach. And
I think when you, at the beginning, obviously as the gyms now evolve, you know, it's so much, at the beginning it's so much about you wanting to be an athlete, isn't it? You know, that's why you get into it in the first place. But as you get bigger and get older, then it's not. You know what I mean? It's a business now. We're trying to help. The days of us being athletes have gone. The days of us being business and coaches and getting involved and doing fun stuff is there, but it seems to be a CrossFit thing. You wouldn't ever go to an Olympic lifting coach and be like, why aren't you trying to get into the Commonwealth? Why aren't you competing in Olympic lifting?
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing that? If I'm a nutritionist, why aren't you dieting? Doesn't really make it.
Wayne Bennett's a pretty good rugby league coach, but he ain't playing anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
Can't see him running out.
Next one, how high of a heart rate is too high for a consistent 10 kilometre? Well, we're definitely no experts on running. I don't
think I've ever run 10 kilometres in my life.
I've run 10k. I've never ran more than 10k, but I think, you know, the latest stuff coming out is just keeping your heart rate between zones. And again, the zones will vary, I believe. There's a perfect zone to stay in terms of percentage of heart rate, but I think that'll vary depending on fitness levels, depending on how fast you run, depending on how well you can keep your heart rate up. But I think to keep an average 10k, it's probably I'd say anywhere between like 50% and 85% of your maximum heart rate. I think anywhere between there, I think you're doing fine if you're just looking to just go and cruise. And if you're looking to like obviously race and get faster paces at the end, then that heart rate might pick up. But if you're just looking to cruise and do consistent 10Ks, I would look to stay around there.
Beautiful. And I will say just one thing quickly before, again, some of our members will watch this and be like, oh, why are you making us do the Open? Well, because it's going to make you uncomfortable. And I think someone getting in, and it's more so from a community event. Like it's a way for the AM classes to engage with the PM classes, and you know, a lot of our members have never been involved in a proper competitive environment. So like a little bit of like that sort of competitive nature scares scares people, and I think there's some growth there for a lot of people. But yeah, just not for me. I'm not scared.
Resilience. It's my favourite community event of the year. It's good. By the end of it, I'm knackered though because I'm just on. But yeah, it's great. But you're all right. It's just building resilience. It's just building a massive community vibe. It's fun.
I'm the hype
fun.
man.
You're the hype man.
I'm barbecue.
You're outside on the barbecue. I'm the hype man. All right, that is pretty much it. So remember what we spoke about the podcast this week. If you do want to get involved in the answer challenge, then come it. But I'm just going to leave you with this slow.
Weebs, message me.
Weebs, message Sean. Just be kind to people. Okay, there's a lot going on at the UK more than and all this stuff on social media. There's memes going everywhere and everyone has an opinion about every single person. Again, if you don't know that person, if you're not willing to try and speak to that person, look into them, just don't judge the person. You have no idea. You have no idea. What you're seeing from any human is just a silhouette of a human being, and you know nothing about them. You know nothing about their story. So just be kind to everyone you can while you can.
Cool. Deep.
Safe judging for the open.
Safe judging for the open. I'll be judging everyone at the open. My job's to judge exercise, not personalities. All right, see you next week.